Alright, listen up, because you won't want to miss this. There's a secret plan in place for the midfield, and I'm about to tell you exactly what it is. And trust me, it could change the whole direction of the club. You've probably heard the rumours, but I've got some exclusive info on what's really going down behind the scenes. And it's not just about who we're buying, but who might be leaving too. United are getting ready to make some big moves, and I've got the inside scoop on what's happening with Mainoo, Tyler Dibling, and even a potential surprise move for someone you probably didn't see coming, which we will talk about towards the end. So stick around, because this is going to be a huge one. Now let's talk about Mainoo, and there's a lot to unpack here. First off, this kid has so much potential, no one's denying that. United fans have been excited about him for a while now, and it's easy to see why. His performances have shown that he's got the skills, he's got that vision, technical ability, and footballing IQ that you can't teach. But here's the reality, and this is where things get tricky. Mainoo doesn't seem to fit the system that United are trying to build right now. In an ideal world, he would be one of the next big players for the team, but as things stand, it doesn't seem like he has a clear role that fits perfectly into Amorim's system. He's been deployed in multiple positions, he's even played in that number 10 role, and while he's looked promising, it's not enough to warrant him being a guaranteed starter moving forward. I've heard rumblings that United are willing to sell Mainoo if they don't manage to work out a contract agreement with him in the summer. Now, hold on a second. Before you all freak out, this is not set in stone, but the reality is Mainoo's future could be up in the air. If United can't figure out the contract situation, they could cash in for around £70 million. It sounds crazy, I know, but here's why it makes sense. Clubs are watching Mainoo closely. His potential is undeniable, and if United aren't ready to make him a key part of their plans, someone else will. I personally think Mainoo is being massively misprofiled. The guy's natural role is a number 10, and United haven't fully explored that. Remember when he played in the academy? He was brilliant in that position, and the fact that he's been used in a deeper midfield role just doesn't suit him. This isn't to say that he can't be useful in that deeper role in certain systems, but he's been played out of position for far too long. If you've watched him in the academy, or even in the few appearances he's made, his creativity, ability to thread passes, and eye for goal are his best qualities. The problem for Mainoo isn't his talent, it's the system. Under Amorim, United are looking for players who are more dynamic in those deeper roles, players who can press relentlessly and move the ball quickly. Mainoo doesn't exactly fit that mold, especially when you compare him to someone like Casemiro, who's a bit more of a traditional anchor in midfield. Mainoo's best work comes further up the pitch, where he can make decisions and influence the game higher up. Now, the reality is this. If United don't come to an agreement on a new deal, we could see Mainoo leaving for that £70 million. A club like Chelsea, or even some of the top teams in Spain, would be all over that deal. If he was to leave, I don't think United would have an immediate replacement lined up, which is why this could lead to United looking for a different solution in the midfield. Now, let's talk about Tyler Dibling. The guy is seriously turning heads right now. He's been fantastic for Southampton, and I know a lot of you are already wondering, could he be United's next midfield signing? First, let's address the elephant in the room. Southampton are asking for £100 million, and while we all know the crazy prices clubs can demand these days, let's be real, United aren't paying that for Dibling. But here's the thing, United have been keeping an eye on him for a while now. His style of play is exactly what Amorim is looking for, a creative, dynamic midfielder who can control the tempo and influence the game in the final third. Dibling has that flair, the dribbling ability, and most importantly, he's a brilliant playmaker. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Jason Wilcox, who's at United as the technical director, used to be the director of football at Southampton. He's got great relationships with the club and knows exactly how they operate. That's going to be key here. I've got a feeling that Wilcox's links will play a major role in negotiations with Southampton. United will try to use Wilcox's influence to bring the price down to something more realistic, somewhere between 40 to 50 million pounds. Southampton have overvalued Dibling at 100 million pounds, but with Wilcox's experience, United can use that connection to get a much more reasonable price. This is one deal that could be a lot more affordable if the right people are in place to negotiate. Dibling's potential fits perfectly into the number 10 role that Amorim likes in his system. He's got that sharp creativity, vision, and dribbling skill to break down opposition defenses. I can see him thriving in a setup that demands creativity and quick thinking in tight spaces, just like Bruno Fernandes does for United right now, but with a bit more flair and unpredictability. So, if United can get the deal done for 40 to 50 million pounds, this could be a massive win for the club. Dibling would be a huge asset to Amorim's squad, but again, don't expect to see this deal happen for 100 million pounds. Southampton will have to lower their asking price, and with Jason Wilcox back at the club, I've got a feeling they might be willing to negotiate. Now, this one is just a little added bonus to this video. I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but it's worth mentioning in passing. Cole Palmer. I know what you're thinking. He's at Chelsea now, but let me tell you something interesting. United scouts were keeping an eye on him when he was at Man City. What's even more intriguing is that Palmer has mentioned he supports United.
People say that you were a fan of United growing up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah? True, confirming. These players you remember watching?
Rooney.
Why was that?
Obviously I supported United and he was probably the best player when I was watching him.
I've heard from people close to him that he might be open to a move to Old Trafford in the future, but take this with a pinch of salt. I'm not saying it's happening right now, and nobody really knows for sure. It's just something I've heard through word of mouth, but Palmer could be someone to watch in the next few years if United start competing again at the top level. Again, this is a long-term possibility, but the fact that Palmer has shown a connection to United in the past and has impressed during his time at Chelsea means that he might be a target further down the line. Okay, so what do you think about these potential moves? Should United sell Mainoo for £70 million or keep him and give him a chance to prove himself in the right role? Is Tyler Dibling the answer to United's midfield issues? And will Jason Wilcox's influence be the key to getting him at a reasonable price? And do you think Cole Palmer could end up at Old Trafford in the future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I want to know what you all think.